Ladies and gentlemen, the Premier League predictions is finally coming to a close. It is the final game week and we thought we'd do something a little bit different for the final episode. We are going to predict all of the scores and then we're going to have a final Premier League table to see who gets into the crucial European places.
Yeah, and an even bigger twist, me and Gary have to agree on the predictions before it goes in. So we're not having two separate predictions, we have to agree. So this may be the longest video we've ever done in the history of YouTube videos. As always, before we get into it, throughout the whole season, every single one of you guys that has commented, liked, just generally be involved and given us your time, massive thank you. We really do appreciate it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we explained, we've got the table up on the screen now. There's a battle for Champions League places between Chelsea, Liverpool and Leicester, and look at that, between 6th and 9th. Nice. We've got West Ham, Tottenham, Everton and Arsenal all trying to cram in and try and get some European football. It's gonna be crazy, but we're gonna go and try and predict every single game and update this table. First game up, it is Arsenal versus Brighton. And you know what, Arsenal, a couple games ago, they were absolutely a dead duck. They didn't really have a chance to get into the European spots, but 3 games, they've won 3 in a row. They haven't particularly played well, but they've managed to win each game. And they are super close to Tottenham and Everton, who are sitting in 7th and 8th. So can they do it against Brighton? My opinion is that they're going to win this 2-1 very squeakily. Yeah, well, you got to remember, for Brighton, they have got a bit of a big scalp on their in their results in recent games with that win over City. One that got under Pep Guardiola's skin. Saw Potter going at it with Man City and the backroom staff. I think I'm siding towards an Arsenal win as well. Gary, what kind of score are you thinking? I said 2-1. I think Welbeck's going to get a goal, but Arsenal are going to have just a bit too much for Brighton.
Yeah, I'm happy to stick with 2-1. Let's go 2-1 Arsenal.
Okay, 2-1.
Look at that. First one, we didn't disagree. Next up is Aston Villa versus Chelsea, and let's have a quick look at the league positions. We'll start with Chelsea. As you can see, there is a danger if they lose this game, they could slip out of the Champions League positions. Although you have to remember, if they do win the Champions League, they do get to go back in it, and we'll have 5 teams in the Champions League next season. And for Aston Villa, after such a strong start, they have been on a bit dodgy form for 2021 and they have slipped down. And looking at their past fixtures, both of them in their last game had very good wins. Aston Villa got that 2-1 win over Tottenham, in which they played very well, and Chelsea managed to avenge Leicester for that FA Cup loss, in which they beat Leicester 2-1. So this is 2 teams, on a little bit of form. It should be a good match.
Yeah, who are you going for?
This is a tough one for me. This is a real tough one because Villa looked really strong against Tottenham, but then Chelsea looked strong against Leicester. Yeah, I think I'm going to go 1-0 Chelsea.
Oh, okay, yep.
Only because Villa haven't got much to play for, although they didn't have anything to play for against Tottenham, and they did turn up. Now, where are you at with that?
Yeah, Chelsea just need a win. I think they'll rubber stamp it. I think they'll win. I'm happy to go with 1-0 Chelsea. I would have predicted 2-1 Chelsea.
Let's stick with 1-0 Chelsea.
All right, 1-0. 1-0, low scoring affair. I think they've got a good goal difference. And next up, it is Fulham versus Newcastle. And Fulham, they drew their last game against Man United. I'll just say that I would be so pissed off because everyone's going to have to watch that highlight of Cavani's goal. And the Fulham fans know that was offside, which should have been called off, which is super frustrating. But yeah, it hasn't been a good finish to the end of the season for Fulham. Once they got relegated, it's been too difficult.
Yeah, I think the wind definitely got took out of their sails. Because they were a very energetic side. So I think as soon as they knew it was going to go down, I think it was always going to be tough for them to maintain that high energy. And for Newcastle, you know what, Gary? You know what I'm going to do? Because I know you've been enjoying his run of form. So I'm going to let you say what I know you probably want to say. So this is your moment. Go on, take it.
Mr. Super Sub, he's adding millions to the transfer fee if he gets sold. But I mean, he's showing that he's got a lot of promise. He's athletic. He can score goals, and he's just demonstrating that.
And is he the youngest player to get 6 goals in a row? Was it?
Yeah, I knew you knew that stat. I knew you were going to say that, so I didn't want to say it myself.
I had that cocked and locked and ready to go. But according to Fabrizio Romano, whatever his name is, Mr. Here we go. According to him, he is going to be trying to fight into the Arsenal's first team next season. So be an interesting one to watch. But that's not what we're here for. Fulham versus Newcastle. Fulham are already down. Newcastle haven't got much to fight for. So where are you going with this one?
I'm going 2-0 Newcastle. Resounding win, but only 2-0.
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be high scoring, but I don't know really which way it's going to go. So can you add some goals to both teams?
I'll give you 3-1. I'll give you 3-1. That's as far as I'm going.
I'll take that.
Okay, 3-1.
Next game up, it is Leeds versus West Brom, and everyone was saying about this Bielsa burnout that was going to happen and all that, but let's be honest, they have actually been one of the best teams for the tail end of this season. They have absolutely been on fire. We'll ignore the Brighton 2-0 loss. We'll sweep that one under the carpet. But in the last 3 games, they won 3, so they've been playing really, really well.
As for West Brom, yeah, they couldn't hold on to the lead once they went 1-0 up, and after they started conceding the equaliser, it was all really much over. Big news, that's Big Sam. He's not going to carry on with West Brom. I know they would probably want Big Sam to keep him on to get into the Premier League again, but I'm of the opinion you should start off with a younger coach and rebuild that way. But we're going for score prediction here. Leeds versus West Brom. Who are you going for?
I have to stick with Leeds with their form they've been on. I think my prediction would be in and around 2-0, 2-1, around there.
Okay. 2-1. Let's put in 2-1.
Yeah, I'm happy with 2-1.
And next up is Leicester City versus Tottenham. Massive game for both teams, really. Leicester, they absolutely have to win this game. I don't know what the fans would have chosen. I think they would have chosen the FA Cup, no matter what. Winning a trophy, that's what it's all about. But it brings up last year's, failure to get into the Champions League, and it might very well happen again. Liverpool and Chelsea are looking favourites to get into that spot. They had that playoff game against Chelsea, where Chelsea got the revenge, and it just didn't go that well. Chelsea were very, very dominant in that game, but against Tottenham, I think they can win. I'm just not too sure about it. Tottenham still quality opponents.
I'll tell you, let me talk about Tottenham first. I think since Ryan Mason has been manager of Tottenham, I think what I've noticed is that there's still a team that have, a lot of top quality players, but they've struggled against teams that have gelled well this season. So that's why I think they lost against Villa, and I think that's why they lost against Leeds. And I think they're teams that they've got that better chemistry, and they've just got that better style implemented throughout their team. And let's be honest, Leicester, not only do they have better players, which is why they're further up in the league, but they also have a better manager, and they've had someone who's implemented a better style and just that better chemistry. So I think I'd side with a Leicester win as well.
Ooh, I don't know about Leicester. I was going to go 1-1, but really, what? So what? 2-1?
Yeah, I'd go 2-1, 3-1 along those lines.
Oh, I don't know.
You could take the lead. Go on, where are you going? Go on, what's your heart?
I'm only going for... I'm going for... I was originally thinking a draw, but let's make it exciting. We'll give Leicester the win, right? And
I'm a Tottenham fan saying Tottenham are going to lose. You have to take my word for it when that happens.
I just don't know. It's too much pressure for Leicester, maybe. I don't know. Okay. We'll go 2-1 Leicester.
Next up is Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. And Liverpool, they've been, over the last year, they've been absolutely bipolar. They've gone from being called mentality monsters to mentality mouses, I think, by Jamie Carragher. And now I would say they're back in that mentality monsters scenario, because that it was not looking like they was going to Champions League football, but 4 wins in a row, and they're right up there, and they are well within a shout. And their opponents, Crystal Palace, if you remember earlier in the season, last time they played, it was a 7-0 victory. So things are looking good for Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool, I think they ticked up the form, then everyone else around them has been losing. Leicester and Chelsea has been a bit giving them hope, and they're finally in the driving seat. Crystal Palace, yeah, they equalised against Arsenal, and I thought they were the better team in the second half, and they really should have taken the game, but they didn't. And it's all about Roy Hodgson and the great job that he's done this season. He's done absolutely what they expected and probably a bit more. He's always kept them in the Premier League, and he goes out with a lot of respect. But Crystal Palace have loftier ambitions, and they should get a higher caliber coach. But score prediction.
Before we go into that, I do just want to say a quick get well soon to Eze. Obviously, he got that very serious injury. He's supposed to be out for quite a long time, so hopefully get well soon.
Okay, score prediction. You think Liverpool's going to take this? I think they are.
Yeah, I don't mind what score you go for as long as it's a Liverpool win. I think I'm going to agree.
Okay, well, 3-0.
Give Palace a goal. Give
Right,
Palace
3-1. All right. Okay. Next up is Manchester City versus Everton, and it was that crazy game against Brighton. I think the game that kind of hinged off of the sending off, which I thought was really harsh. I think Danny Welbeck was doing some very, very smart centre forward play by getting in front, hooking the arm, and going over. So yeah, none of the players are doing what Pep Guardiola wants, and they're really losing their discipline ahead of the Champions League final. So he'll be quite concerned. So he'll be looking for a good win against Everton.
As for Everton, in their last game, it was that 1-0 win over Wolves. But the game before that, it was the 1-0 loss to Sheffield United. They have been a really inconsistent side, but they haven't done too badly against the top teams. It's as if they saved their best performances for the top half of the table. If you remember, they did also beat West Ham quite recently. So it's a really weird one for Everton, but I think Manchester City are going to be a really tough game for them. And I'll tell you why. I think this Manchester City team that's going to go out, I think 90% of it is going to be the team that starts in the Champions League final. And I think Pep's probably going to say, show me you deserve to start. And I think for Everton, don't get me wrong, they're going to come out fighting. But I think with these two going head to head, I think Man City are going to come out on top.
Okay, so I think it's going to be 3-1 as well, this game. So do you disagree with that at all? Strong reservations?
Everton haven't conceded that many goals recently. Can we bring that down to a 2-1?
Boring. Okay, 2-1 Man City.
And I want it on record. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw. Next up is Sheffield United versus Burnley, and with Sheffield United already being relegated and Burnley securing Premier League football for next season, there's not very much on the line for this one. Sheffield United, it's weird, ever since they've been relegated, and we kind of said this was going to happen, but since the pressure's been off, I think the performances have been a bit better. Don't get me wrong, they lost 1-0 to Newcastle, but I wouldn't say it certainly hasn't been anywhere near the worst performance they've had this season. And I always want to touch on the previous game in which they beat Everton. That was a very, very good performance by Sheffield United. But I think with this one, with Sheffield United having nothing on the line, I think this is Burnley's to win.
Yeah, Burnley. It's kind of crazy that they've just lost a bit of form in the last couple of games. Lost their last two, and even though they're so far safe from relegation, they're still 17th, and that's quite a disappointing return for this season. And hopefully, if Arsenal can beat Brighton and Burnley pick up this win, then they can at least go to 16th, and that's what I'm kind of aiming for this prediction.
So what are you going with? Where are you in?
I think it's going to be 2-0 to Burnley this game.
Yeah, I'm happy to go with that.
Okay, 2-0. Next up, it is West Ham United versus Southampton. You know, West Ham definitely going to get European football next season, which is a great achievement. But just thinking, the last 5 games, loss, win, loss, draw, win. You know, last win against West Brom. Just thinking, if they had one extra win, they would have set up this, you know, crazy fight for the Champions League spot. It's not meant to be, but I think they'll round out and win this last fixture to cap off a very good season.
Yeah, I agree. For Southampton, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think 2021 as a whole has been bad for Southampton, but for the tail part, they've picked it up a little bit. They managed to get wins over Crystal Palace, and they also got a win over, it was Fulham. Then their last game, they lost to Leeds, but I think Leeds is a very tough side to come up against, and I think West Ham, if you look at the table, they're even tougher. So I think I'm siding with you. It's just how much do West Ham win by?
Well, I'm going for a bit of a high scorer, so I'm going West Ham 3, Southampton 2.
That would be very entertaining. Last game. That will be a very entertaining game, and I'm going to stick with it.
Excellent.
And I suppose it's not the last game, but alphabetically the last game is Wolves versus Manchester United. And for Wolves, look, I think they've lost the last 2 games, and I think they'd be happy for this season to be over, because I think Nuno's seen it as a bit of a rebuild. He lost a few key players, and one that he wasn't meant to lose in Jimenez. So I think they'll be looking forward for this season to get over, to get a transfer window in, to get a proper pre-season under their belts without European football, without that distraction. I'd be looking forward to having a much better 2021-2022 season.
Absolutely. As for Man United, they clinched second place. It's been a very good season for Man United. I feel like the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer slander has been, super heavy, but he's proven all of his critics. Bruno Fernandes has been astonishing this season, so they thoroughly deserve, second place. Can this be the building block for next season's title challenge? And that's what they're really thinking about. Can they have a big summer and retool and get back in it amongst Man City? But do you think they're going to cap it off with a win?
I don't know. That Manchester United Fulham result is stuck in my head. And Wolves, they can hurt teams, but I don't know. Should we be a bit crazy? Should we go for like a 3-3?
Well, Manchester United in the last 5 games, draw, win, loss, and a draw. So it's been really patchy. So I don't mind a crazy draw. So we're going, what, you're going, 2-2, 3-3? I think
United are going to finish second either way, so 3-3.
3-3, there we go. Now, what does that do for the Premier League table after 38 games? I'm going to go ahead, click calculate. Does it refresh? It's free, refreshed. My bad. I'm going to reveal this table now. Alright, now up on your screen is the final Premier League table, and look what we've got here. We've got Chelsea and Liverpool making the Champions League spots. Leicester, unfortunately, finishing 5th with 69 points, but they lose out to Liverpool because of the goal difference, and that's the issue. West Ham stay at 6th place. Arsenal somehow go into 7th place and beat Tottenham out after a terrible campaign from both teams, really. Leeds United jump up to 9th. They've got the goal difference over Everton. Everton, finishing 10th. That's a bit crazy considering how well they were playing this season. Then Aston Villa are 11th with 52 points. Then we go to Wolverhampton Wanderers, 46 points. Newcastle in 13th. That is a great result considering, how they were languishing in the relegation battle for a couple of weeks.
It's quite a swing of the money as well. That's quite an extra, what is it, 2 million per position? So it's an extra 10 mil in the pocket for them.
Yeah, that's what, 4 places? Yeah, about 9 million pounds of a swing. Crystal Palace are in 14th place with 44 points. Southampton in 15th. Burnley, they get that 16th spot after winning their final game. And Brighton with an absolutely terrible season. But they're not relegated. They're in 17th. And we've got Fulham, West Brom and Sheffield United all relegated. And that is all for the 2020-21 season. It has been a massive, crazy ride. But thank you all for sticking with us annoying you guys. Hopefully we gave you a tiny bit of entertainment, but just want to say thanks again.
Yeah, thank you very much. And hopefully we see you next season. And who knows, maybe even a little bit for the Euros.